is episode 352, folks, of No Laugh Track Podcast. That's the correct response there, is a wow. 352, No Laugh Track Podcast. This is Justin Severson. We're here at Acme. Of course, it's their podcast. I'm the lucky guy who gets to host. With me this week, and he's been here a few times if you check the archives, Tim Slagle's here.
Hey, so that's almost 7 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
So it's 364 is 7 years, or did you take weeks off?
We've skipped. You could add probably 70. I would say there's probably 10 weeks that are missing for whether we just didn't have a guest or there were technical problems and the episode doesn't exist. So yeah, you add probably 2 months or so onto that, and that's how long we've been going.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, and 352 marks Tim Slagle.
Hey. And how many of these have I done? Did you make a note of that?
I think the last time I looked, it was 11, I think, the last time I looked. Maybe for Crash and Burn. I think I looked then.
This makes a dozen?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
I think so.
We have nothing left to talk about.
So what we are going to do is we're just going to take 5 seconds or 5 minutes snippets from all of those past ones. We could probably do a best of Tim Slagle on No Laugh Track Podcast. That's actually something.
Yeah, that would be less than a minute.
No, come on. No. I won't let that stand. That is not true. That is absolutely not true. Well, let's get into it, Tim, because it's my job to come up with things to talk about, and I have got plenty. So we should get this going here. First of all, it is Thursday. You've done 2 shows so far this week? That is correct, yeah?
Yep.
The normal Tuesday start?
What do you mean, normal Tuesday? What is a normal Tuesday?
Oh, I mean like...
Jet-lagged, audience not... Yeah, it was... Tuesday was not my best show.
Oh, okay.
I'm afraid to say. Tuesday was one of those shows that I was really questioning my career choice afterwards.
Oh, okay.
I'm not funny. Why did I think I was funny?
Oh, no.
They didn't think I was funny.
What last week leading up to this week? Did you get any sets in anywhere?
Yeah. I was doing open mics around Chicago.
Okay.
I'm starting to do that more. I'm starting to be actually a fixture on the open mic circuit. So it's kind of neat. The old veteran rubbing mics with the young kids.
Is that a change for you? You weren't doing that much?
I always just worked. There was no need for the open mic, and this open mic scene just entirely developed because there wasn't enough work, and I've been dabbling in it a little bit, for maybe 5 years.
Okay.
Just because I wanted to see, I wanted to see people doing comedy that were still enjoying it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like the first questions pop into my head is what are you seeing? What are you seeing now at the open mics?
It is different. It's the topics. The topics are different. The choice of topics. A lot of introspection is I think is what a lot of the young comics are doing.
Do you think that's because they were told to do that?
I think it's because that's all they have left. That they can't make fun of the outside world because they don't know what parts they're allowed to make fun of. So it all has to be a lot of the jokes about their parents walking into them when they're reading a magazine, if you know what I mean.
Uh-huh.
A lot of that.
Uh-huh.
A lot of that. That's the other thing too, is that and I might have said this before on one of the podcasts, but when I was starting out in comedy, young ladies would be like, "Oh my God, you're a stand-up comic? I've never met a stand-up comic before." And now it's like, "Oh yeah, my brother did that for a while."
Oh, I see.
So so that is totally changed. Whereas before I was like a rock star, it's now it kind of feels like a 12-step program.
Interesting. I don't know if you had said that here before.
It's because the audiences, the open mic audiences, it's nobody wants to see the open mic shows, so it's pretty much just open mic comics.
Okay.
So it really is much more a support group than an actual comedy show.
Yeah. Are there familiar faces that you're running into?
Oh yeah. It's so there's some old veterans that do it as well.
Yeah.
That pop in from time to time. Some don't. Some should. There's quite a few guys. There's quite a few guys I started with that could use a little new material in their in their performance.
Sure.
I'm not naming names.
Is it true that you've asked Eddie Murphy to do Crash and Burn next year?
Hey, Eddie, give me a call if you're interested. Love to help you write a new 20. I don't know what else you're going to do. You can't. You're not going to. People aren't going to watch your Nutty Professor impression.
Yeah.
I don't think.
What do you think about him getting on Netflix? Throwing a ton of money to him and getting back.
Netflix has more money than they know what to do with.
Yeah,
and they're not. I foresee a future where Apple TV buys Netflix. That's my prediction, because Apple TV has the infrastructure,
this
but
Apple
they don't.
TV that we just found out about, the streaming service that they're coming out with. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah. They don't. I don't think they have any content.
Not real. No.
And where are they going to go? Disney pretty much took Star Wars and the Marvel franchise.
And Friends apparently is going to end up there.
What?
The TV show Friends, that was the big thing, this being pulled from Netflix when their contract is up, and that's going to be on the Disney Channel, Disney Plus.
Huh.
Yeah.
It just here I'm talking about Star Wars and the Marvel universe, and you throw in Friends.
Well, I just
it's like what? Hey. That doesn't belong in the same sentence.
Well, you haven't hung out with my wife, because it is maybe more important. That in The Office, you'd be surprised.
Yeah. So Ross getting married is like Revenge of the Sith, or
right? Luke finding out Darth is his father. Very similar. Yes.
So yeah. So I mean, Disney's got all that. Netflix has a catalog, but Netflix is just Netflix. I mean, there's no. It's going to be really hard for them to compete like with Amazon. For them, their programming is a toy.
Yeah.
And most of the others are like that. Disney doesn't need a streaming service. Disney's a huge corporation. Again, it's like their streaming service is like a toy. So Netflix, that's all they got. They have nothing else other than, and they've spent money like idiots. So that's my prediction. Apple TV, they got the infrastructure, they've got no content.
What kind of services are you using these days for that? Like for music or TV?
I have Amazon, Hulu, Netflix, and Sling.
And Sling. Okay.
And I also have an antenna on top of my house with a DVR attached.
Okay. Any music service?
Pandora.
Yeah.
But just a free account.
Okay.
It's what do you like?
I'm using the Apple Music.
Oh, okay.
It's a $10-12 a month or whatever to get access to all their stuff.
Oh, I've got XM.
Yeah, oh, okay.
I do have XM. I finally bought a car new enough to have a satellite radio in it. And I wanted to get on their email list because I know they have like deals and free weekends a lot. And I wanted to be informed, so I registered the car, and they said, "Oh, you just got a new car. Hey, would you like 3 months free?"
Yeah,
and it hooked me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I will say, and I probably said it before, you can negotiate those folks down quite a bit.
Oh yeah,
the satellite.
Oh yeah.
Because they'll offer you one thing, and it looks like a great deal, and then for me, because I had it for a while, I don't right now, and I was like, I don't want this basic one. It doesn't have Howard Stern. One of my favorite things is all your comedy channels and the Howard 100. I said, I'll pay that. The price you're offering me for the basic thing, I'll pay that for everything. Okay, yeah, we'll do that.
Wow.
And they did it.
Wow.
I said I want that or nothing. I have no interest in this lower thing. Wow. I want everything or nothing, and they did it. So there's a little tip for everybody. We may find out I was the last one to get that deal. They immediately pulled it. I don't know. I'm excited about it. I think it's interesting that, if you go back 10, 15, 20 years ago, we were all bitching about, there's just one service to get your TV stuff. It was like, well, we either had cable or satellite, and everything wasn't, And now, people always wanted a la carte, right? To pick and choose.
Right.
But now we're kind of going Now there's getting to be almost too many options.
Yeah, we don't want that. We don't want that any of that stuff.
Yeah, like now I'm gonna have to. Do I want to add the Disney one? I mean, I've got kids, and it's got the Star Wars. I mean, do I want? But then do I cut this one to get this?
Mrs. wants friends.
Yeah,
you're,
exactly.
You're going to sign up for Disney. Yeah, you are.
Oh yeah. Yeah, probably. Yeah, we should. How much of so last time you were here at Acme was for the Crash and Burn Week, and we did a couple podcasts with everybody involved in that. And I want to say that Sarah Schaefer was one of those people.
Yeah.
She now has a week on the calendar here at Acme.
Yeah, she's really excited about that.
Yeah, she's coming in. I think it's like second week in November. She's got a week here at Acme.
Acme's really excited too. Acme really enjoyed watching her.
No, she was great.
Yeah.
I thank you for getting her involved. I got a chance to meet her, and I'm excited to have her on the podcast again. Just a little one-on-one. Michael Palisak, who did it,
Yep.
He's got a week coming up at Acme. So that hasn't even been announced yet, but I got permission that I could have mentioned it on the podcast here.
Don't draw too many lines here. I don't want anyone figuring this out.
But that's all I know. Any idea when Crash and Burn? Do we have any dates set for next year?
No dates. In about another month, I'll start contacting. I'll go through the list of people that had said that they wanted to do it.
Okay.
And I'll pick the comics. I'll inform them, and see what we can put together.
Nice.
So no idea yet what week it'll be. Like we did it in June because that was the only the three comics I had picked. That was the only week that they all had available. So I think it was a little late. It kind of got in the way of the funniest person in the Twin Cities contest. So
it did. Did it put that off for a week?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It also was like I said. It was June in Minnesota. It's hard to get people to go indoors.
That's true. Yeah, school's out.
And we hit it, and we were fortunate enough to hit it because we had a real crummy May, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
We were fortunate enough to hit the first week of summer weather.
That's right.
It was everybody had been indoors, cold, rain, and all of a sudden just this beautiful sunny week.
Yeah.
And
hey, welcome to competition.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's right.
I almost rented one of those electric scooters.
Almost,
yeah. Well, I realized if I got on one of those electric scooters that I would look like a circus bear. Yeah, might as well put on the frilly collar and the pointy hat.
I've rented one like 3 times in the last couple weeks, just for 5 minutes at a time to get around downtown. They are so fun.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, they are so fun, and they take bumps on the road and the sidewalk much better than I thought.
Huh?
Much better than I thought.
Can you actually go up a curb?
Didn't try that. No.
Circus bear would have to do that.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't have a helmet or knee pads or no. Nope, not up or down the curb. But they do. Like the one I had even has I didn't know they have speedometers. Goes up to 13 miles an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, and it seems fast.
Yeah,
13 seems fast.
Well, yeah, you're standing on a scooter.
Yeah, you're an inch and a half above the road. Yeah, it seems fast. No doubt about it. Thing that you and I end up talking about a lot when you're here is the different shows that are going on in town when you're performing, right?
What's this week?
I was supposed to, up until almost 24 hours ago, I was going to be working tonight at a concert in St. Paul, but I got an email saying ticket sales were so low that they're not having any of the guys that do my job work.
What?
Blink 182.
Oh, yeah.
And Lil Wayne.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a. Weren't they supposed to both be at Firefest?
Yeah.
I know Blink 182. They were there, right? I thought that was supposed to be Firefest. It was Blink 182 and Lil Wayne.
That sounds about right. And all I ever hear about Lil Wayne is that he doesn't show up for gigs when he's scheduled to perform. So.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's going on in town tonight, besides Tim Slagle, is an empty stadium with with Blink 182.
Much like Firefest.
Yeah. Did you watch those docs?
No, I did not.
No.
I did not, but I followed it when it was in the news.
Sure.
If he would have pulled it off, if that guy would have pulled off that festival, he would be a legend in the music industry.
Mm-hmm.
Today, because now he'd be saying, "Oh man, it was by the skin of my teeth. I didn't have enough money, and I didn't know but somehow we pulled it all together." And it would be like he'd be a legend. Instead, he's sitting in a cell.
Yeah, right. He'd be like hired for consultations. This guy can make something out of nothing.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. It's nope.
Instead, absolute disaster.
And you always hear those stories too. You always hear about that guy that took that risk.
Mm-hmm.
That just put it all on the line and took that risk, and it worked for him. And you hear those stories all the time, and it encourages a lot of people to take stupid risks. Because you don't hear about the millions of people that took stupid risks and are now bankrupt and working retail.
Yeah, absolutely. That are back at their entry-level job. When was the last time you took a big risk? Anything pop into mind?
Yeah, pretty much my life. I realize
agreeing to do a week at a club.
my entire life has been like a slot machine. As I put my entire life into this slot machine, hoping that I'm going to hit that payout, and at this point I realize now, well, maybe I can break even at least.
Yeah, there's something to be said for that. When was the last time you had a day job?
I think. Well, actually, there was a real brief period in the '90s where the bookings were a little slow, and I took a job as I was curious about the life of bicycle messengers, and I said, that would be a real interesting thing to do for a summer, is be a bicycle messenger.
Yeah.
And I could get in shape. I could make a little cash. I could be a great way to explore the city. And I went and I went to sign up, and he said, "Do you have a car?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "You make double the money if you have a car."
Oh, okay.
And that was the end of my bicycle messenger career.
Did you do any?
What? No, I did. I ran packages around the city for a while. I ran packages and stuff in my car, and it's still. I got to see the city. I got to see the lobbies of a lot of buildings that I normally wouldn't have gone into. Which is kind of cool. I mean, there's the gorgeous old buildings in Chicago, and some wonderful modernist buildings, and I would not have seen them if I had not done that for a summer. So that was probably the closest last thing I had to a day job.
Okay.
Since 82, I think, is when I...
Were you doing any deliveries to low-income areas?
Sort of. It was the messenger service I signed up with. This is really interesting. In Chicago, for all you young kids out there used to be this thing called the Yellow Pages. And it was kind of like the internet, but it was in a book. Yeah. And so, like, if you needed your car worked on, you'd flip to auto repair, and there'd be all sorts of listings. And
Could I look under car?
What?
Could I look under car?
Yeah, but no, auto. There was nothing under car.
That's right.
Nothing under car. Car. C auto.
C auto.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you remember? Well, there was also something that I had not realized till I started working. There was something in Chicago called the Black Yellow Pages. I don't know if that's exactly what it was called, but that's what it was.
Okay.
Where it was just exclusively minority-owned businesses.
Oh.
And this messenger service was the only one listed in those
interesting.
Those Yellow Pages.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of I actually this is one of my favorite stories. I actually had to would have to do deliveries to Chicago Public Schools headquarters.
Okay.
And I would have to go. It was almost like Get Smart, where I'm talking my age again. It's where you had to go through door after door after door to get to where you're going.
Looks like you're just picking up a payphone, but really it's a secret door.
Yeah, no. Well, after that, after the payphone, there's the sliding door, then the iron door, then the wooden door, then the door. And it was this, but it wasn't like that. In front of every door, there was like a security guard. And I would have to say where I was going. I'd have to sign in, and then I'd be allowed through the door. And then I would go down a hall, and then I'd run into another security guard, and it was the same thing. It was sign in, name, and I wonder, is there really that much of a security risk that you've got to have all those levels?
Right.
And it's like, and then I thought about it. I go, well, no. There's two reasons. Number one, that security guard position probably pays $70,000 a year plus full city benefits. So it's a great it's a great patronage job. And number two,
good point.
The when I finally delivered the package to the administrator at the school board, he was never there. There was never anyone in the office. I would just leave the package on his desk, or when I got to the final security guard, I would leave it with that security guard. It never in the office to sign for it. And I realized is that many security guards you have to go through. If it's an important person to see the administrator, they can call him up, get him out of bed, and he can get dressed in his office.
Oh, yeah. All right, you have a half an hour to get here.
Yeah, it's channel 2 at the front desk. You have a half hour.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Oh, it's that delivery guy. I'm snooze.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I'm hitting the snooze button.
So yeah, there was some wasn't real bad areas because you don't call a messenger service to for drugs and to deliver crack in the projects.
Sure.
It's the crack processing place needs more ether. Can you get it?
I had a job when I was in college in Duluth. I delivered merchandise from a liquor store.
Huh.
And that, in the customers weren't. Let me just say it like this: this was a time where we would the liquor store would take orders and keep track of people's orders and how much they owed in a notepad, much like what I have in front of me right now for the podcast. Paper and pen. They would They would write down everything people ordered, what they owe. Then at the end of that month, when the people came in with their welfare check, they would settle up. They would cash their checks at the liquor store and then settle up with what they owed. It was crazy. I would deliver to the nastiest, most low-income cases of 40 ounces of beer. I got bit by a dog one time delivering to a house. I got offered pot so many times. I remember once delivering a bottle of, whatever the most generic whiskey we sold at the time. And I would do deliveries to nursing homes and assisted living.
Wow!
And there were places where these senior citizens weren't supposed to get booze anymore, and I was told to sneak in. There was one guy that absolutely was not supposed to have booze. I would go in, open up. He was not there. I would go to his top drawer, open it up, put the bottle in there. Underneath his T-shirts would be the money to pay for it. I would take the money, leave, and never talk to anybody. Never saw the guy. We just made these private
So it's like you're going to see Grandpa.
Yeah.
Just going to see Grandpa, just leaving a present, stealing a little money.
Yeah. It was insane. I saw some of the wildest stuff
I don't know where it came from. It was just in my drawer.
Yeah, exactly. It just came back from cards and it was here. I don't know. Anyway, that was some wild stuff I saw in that place.
You're kind of like a drug dealer.
Sort of, yeah.
Kind of like a legal drug dealer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. A legal drug dealer.
Was the notebook on flash paper?
Oh man, they would some of the 12 packs of beer at the time were $5. Delivery was $1. So I would for $6 somebody could get a 12 pack of beer, like red, white, and blue. I think it was called.
Sure.
Was the beer $6 to have it delivered, all included. Not a bad deal for the customers. That's for sure. I want to. I have to admit, I fell behind on Rule of 3 podcasts.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So I did some serious catching up in the last week. And I believe I am all caught up now.
Wow.
And I want to talk about some stuff that you guys have talked about on your podcast.
Okay. Well, let's mention it's the Rule of 3 with Tim Slagle and Ben Washburn.
Yes.
Available on iTunes and everywhere else you get your podcasts. So it's definitely check it out if you haven't.
Mm-hmm. You have a new one that just came out like yesterday. day.
Last week.
Was that
last Friday?
Oh, was it Friday? Okay, it was last Friday. I've listened to it already. So I have a couple things I want to talk to you about from there. First of all, did you finish fixing the pontoon for Mom?
Wow, you're far behind.
Yeah, I know. Did you ever do an update on that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and in fact, in the I think it's the most recent
Well,
episode, we had the fact checker come in.
Yeah, I heard him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was talking about. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We did. Yeah, I did fix it. It's it was originally when I started looking at putting a new motor in there. Well, none of the listeners know. I'm talking like they know. So let me go back a bit.
Yep.
Is Mom called me about a week before 4th of July, and she said, I got company coming in. Do you think there's any way that I can get a boat by the 4th of July?
She lives on a lake?
Yeah, she lives on a lake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's so I checked out, and she didn't like any of the boats that I found. And I said, well, what's wrong with this one? And she said, well, the motor. Motor doesn't work. And I said, well, the motor you wanted to get for the other boats, I can get just the motor and I can replace it. She goes, you can't do that. I'm good, Mom. Trust me. I can do the motor. And she goes, okay, let me think about it. And then she called the boat shop, and the boat shop said, yeah, bring it in. We can probably fix it. So I went out there, and I took the motor off the boat and threw it in the back of the truck and drove it to the boat shop. And he said, I meant the entire boat.
I love that. No, I didn't even think to ask that.
Mom did the addition, the original call. So
okay.
It wasn't. I can't be blamed for that. But she said, yeah. He said, just take it off and bring it. She misunderstood. She thought she meant. So I did, and it was, I had to get out there. I had to get out there on a lake with a wrench. I lost my Craftsman ratchet wrench, by the way, because I dropped it into the lake muck. And
heartbreaking.
Did not want to root around for it and come up with an arm of leeches.
No. Oh, yeah.
So I don't have a Craftsman ratchet wrench anymore. But I got it all disconnected and I got it pulled off, and then I had to put it all back on. And went back, and then got it back on. Got some batteries, got it all hooked up, and figured out all that was needed was a $100 part. And it's a new motor for the boat, and the ones we were looking at were like 10, 20 grand.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
The $20,000 one, that was a 20 horse. That's a 20 horse electric one, and she kind of liked that idea because we could probably water ski. But the motor wasn't that bad, but the batteries. So
now that this thing is seaworthy, fixed, how often is it being used?
Well, kind of seaworthy. It's a little bit. It is an older boat.
Sure.
And
is it getting used?
Yeah, it gets used. It's she after dinner she loves to tool around the lake. So yeah, it is ship shape.
Ship shape. I like that.
But that's if you got a pontoon boat and you need an electric pontoon boat, and it needs fixing, I know more about pontoon boats than anyone needs.
So in my house, we was doing a load of laundry the other night, and it got to the spin cycle, and it just stopped. I figured it out with a little Google searching, YouTube, etc. I bought the part that was broken. It was the thing that when the lid switch, basically.
Oh, wow.
When the lid goes down and
Sure.
that little thing, then the springs had gone out, so it wasn't connecting anymore.
Huh.
I bought a new piece for $10 on Amazon, and last night took me a little bit of trouble. I had a little bit of trouble with it, but I took it apart and put it back together, and it's working again. We've done 3 loads of laundry since. But here's the thing, Tim.
Don't you love that moment of pride when it works?
Yes, and here's the thing. I walk around my house like I am the last 24 hours, like I am absolute king shit. Like I can fix anything. Absolutely. Like I don't walk around like, oh, humble. I'm not humble in the least. I'm like, Every time I'm walking by my wife from sitting down next to her, I'm like, what do you think? So fixed it, huh? Huh? $10.
Hear that? Hear that? Wait, quiet. You know what that is? That's the spin cycle.
Yeah. You hear that?
I'm Mr. Spin Cycle here.
That's rinse. So I don't know. I don't know what that says about me, but I can't walk around just like being humble about this thing. It's like I'm so proud that I got this fixed. I can't even contain myself.
Sure, I'm still the same way.
Okay,
still the same way. It was the potentiometer. Did I say that? It was actually
no.
That's what it was.
That's a name of something.
Yeah, that's the part that was. In radio, you would call them pots.
Oh, and what's the long
potentiometer?
Okay. Potentiometer.
Yep, that's what it's called. And basically, it was the thing that regulates the speed of the electric motor.
Yeah,
and it was just they had never thought it was in the control panel. They thought it was in the motor. So
okay,
motor was all taken apart. I got it all back together. Anyway,
yeah. When I took this washing machine apart, when it's completely apart and like the whole sides and top are disconnected, like it's almost unrecognizable from the machine that you normally see. Just like I got it back together. Holy crap! I was relieved. There was a moment where I was like, "It's getting stuck." So another thing when this thing came up, it was a story that was passed on to me on the last week. I thought, what perfect timing. This is right up Tim Slagle's alley. It's kind of stuff that we've talked about in the past. It has to do with technology and phishing and hacking. And here's the thing. I'll protect the innocent here in telling this. Well, I'm just going to protect the person that
sure,
this happened
that's fine.
to.
That's fine. So he's not innocent. That's what I gathered
No, you
from
know
that
what?
remark.
He actually, there was no follow-through. There is innocence, but almost. Very, very close. Someone I know got an email 2 weeks ago from the choir director of the church he attends. And it said, "Hey, can you do me a favor? I'm in blah, blah. I'm in another country right now."
Oh, that one.
Yeah. I need to get something for a promo, and what I need you to get me are some gift cards for Steam Wallet gift cards, which I had never heard of.
Huh.
Steam Wallet gift cards for a promo. Because I'm out of town traveling. So if you could get these for me, and you've heard this scam before, buy the gift cards, take a picture of the back, scratch off the code, send me a picture of all of them, and next week when I'm back in town, I'll pay you back. And this person was very close to believing. It ended up going, so the reply was, well, yeah, maybe I can do you a favor. What's the favor? And then it got to this. And he was still somewhat skeptical, told another person about it who said, you know what, I think this is a scam. Why don't you start asking some questions? So the question they asked was, okay, my wife thinks this might be a scam. Could you tell me who I sit next to at choir practice? Tim, they had the correct answer.
What?
Yeah. They replied, oh, my God. And then they said the name. And it was the real name.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Inside job.
Well, so, I mean, even just telling you that, the hair kind of stands up on my arms. Like, how the hell? So we still don't know.
Inside job. Someone at church.
Here's the thing. So he got very close into going to Walgreens or wherever and buying these gift cards. Did not do it. Did have choir practice last night. And finally, this choir director, he went up to him and said, hey, have you heard anything? Like, were you sending emails out to me? And he said, no. In fact, I just found out yesterday my email was hacked. And then so all these other people in the choir started speaking up going, yeah, I got one too. Yeah, I got one too. Half the choir got these. No one sent money, but 2 people that he knows outside of the church also got these emails, and they sent money.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Scary stuff.
Someone in the church. It's got to be someone in the church.
So the email they used to send these emails out, it had the choir director's name with a different @. Like it was right. Not an email address it had his real name, but then instead of @, I don't know what it was exactly, but instead of like @Yahoo, which he really uses, it was @Hotmail. So whoever did it made up a fake email with his name. Everything
good.
seemed very legit.
Huh.
Have you ever experienced? Have you ever?
Yeah, I did. And I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember who it was. Oh yeah. I know now. And had the same thing. It's same thing. It's I'm having a kind of an issue. Can you get a gift card for me?
Mm-hmm.
And I just called them up.
Yeah, I looked it up since then, to see if there's to look for similar stories, and they're almost word for word. Where they start off, can you do me a favor?
Yeah,
that's the one to hook people. Right? Can you just do me a favor? Hey, I got a favor to ask. You do me a favor?
Yeah. Yeah, I called him up, and he said, he goes, funny, and he started it out. He said, "I'll bet you didn't realize there was such good cell service in Nicaragua." I go, "Oh, I'm not the first one to call you." He goes, "No, everyone's calling me."
Interesting.
So I got the same thing.
Yeah.
And I almost fell for it, but
when this person got the correct answer to the who sits next to me.
Yeah, well, this got to be an inside job. There's got to be someone in the church.
Yikes.
That's someone. That's what I'm thinking. Someone in the church, maybe some gambling debts.
I wonder.
Got one of those things like I did and said, "Well, this is a good idea. I can do this."
Yeah, who knows? Huh. Very interesting.
Yeah, and even when the choir directors is gone, if it's someone in the church,
sure.
Oh my gosh, I should shut up because I'm just telling people how to pull the perfect crime, aren't I?
Now, what you need to remember is do not overlook witnesses. All right, have an alibi. Have a second alibi. Document everything clearly. So yeah, I don't know. But I will say the person who was almost the victim, as he was, before he completely was convinced that this was a scam. I mean, he was going, he was sending back these questions, going, well, who do I sit next to? And then he came up with another, still was like, wow, okay, he answered that correctly. I'm going to ask another question. And there wasn't a reply for 2 days. And then the person who was almost the victim was going, well, maybe he's mad at me because I don't believe him. I mean, that's how these things can toy with people's emotions and
no, but you just
generosity.
You just asked the good question. Don't be stupid.
Yeah.
It's you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay, you got the first one. Here's the second one. You don't know the answer. Well, that's what I verified that you're not him.
Mm-hmm. Crazy stuff. My grandparents got one of those. It was a phone call. They don't have email, but they got the phone call version of that earlier this year, where it was someone claiming to be their eldest grandson who was stranded in, it wasn't Nicaragua, but something like that. Hey, I'm in a blah blah. I'm in South America. I need this money, Grandma. Please help me. Well, who is this? Grandma, you know who this is. It's your oldest grandson. Well, the oldest grandson is me.
Huh.
So after they got off this phone call with somebody, they called my mom and said, "Is Justin in South America?"
And where did you get that Pakistani accent, Justin?
Yeah, right? Right? Well, that was, thank goodness, my grandmother was like, "It doesn't sound like you." Grandma, it's me. Why would I lie to you? Yeah. She eventually put my grandfather on the phone, and he was much more,
Yeah.
Who is this? No, you're not. Goodbye.
Yeah.
And hung up on him. But these fucking people. Not good, Tim Slagle. Did you? I have one more thing about the. Not really connected to this, but kind of. I can't remember. Do you have one of these Alexa things or anything at home?
I do not.
You do not.
I do not. I do not and will not.
You do not. I will not. Do you ever use Siri? Do you ask Siri questions
No.
or whatever thing you have on your phone?
Nope. Well, sometimes I will, and she's not. She hasn't been really good, so I don't bug her much.
Okay.
She doesn't seem to know. She doesn't seem to know anything, and I don't have it set up so the phone answers. She doesn't answer when I say, "Hey Siri."
Okay, I don't either.
Yeah.
That annoys the crap out of me. My kids are mad at me that I don't have that.
Yeah,
set.
I just heard is that people at Amazon that. Oh, you heard that?
This
too.
is what I'm bringing up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, you never let me down, Tim. Go ahead.
They actually been passing around audio tapes of people having sex.
Oh, I didn't hear this. Oh, no.
You didn't hear
this?
this?
No.
Yeah, it's in the Echo department at Amazon. Yeah, that's a very That's a very popular thing. Is that they actually get sex. They accidentally record sex calls, and Amazon said it was an accident, and we won't. We're installing measures to ensure that these won't be circulated around the office again.
Yeah,
it's like accident.
Bullshit. That's like I used to work with a guy in television, and he would tell us that the TV guys that do like the sporting events, they would pass around, like, 80s and 90s, they would pass around these videos, the compilations they would put together of like guys getting a blowjob in the upper deck of a Twins game. And
right.
Yeah. Like, the stuff they're not showing on TV, but they're zooming in on and getting it. Yeah. They pass that shit around to each other. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so that's it's obviously what was going. But here's the thing: is what else are they listening to come across? That's the question that was left unanswered. What they're listening to everything. Those things are on all the time. It's like, oh no, they're only triggered when you say Alexa. No, they only acknowledge that they're
Yeah.
It's I was talking with my nephew about something that he wanted to get. He wanted to get into something. I don't want to mention what it was, and we were talking about it on the phone, and I got an ad on Facebook pop up for stuff for what we were talking about, equipment. So
it makes you wonder.
I don't wonder. I don't wonder. Yeah, I know. I know. And at this point, it's kind of just, basically Amazon wants to hear you say laptop so that they can start showing you ads for laptops.
Yeah, right. LED light bulb.
Right.
Oh, well, here's an advertisement for 30 of them.
Well, yeah, I might see an advertisement, but if I say LED light bulb, it's not done in a. It's not done in a question. It's I hate those LED light bulbs.
Okay.
I do. I don't get it. I don't get how people can say, "Oh, it looks just like the other ones." No, they don't. No, they don't. They're like blue.
Some of them are, yeah.
Well, they all are.
Think so?
Yeah. The color is unnatural. I hate it. I'm an incandescent guy.
Okay. It's funny you say that. I just bought a few in the last few weeks, and I overheard there was a woman at the store next to me asking the guy, the clerk or whatever, about some information about him. He's like, "Well, it's more of a blue." So, yeah, you're not wrong. I guess you're not wrong. He even described it as blue.
Yeah,
like, I don't
I don't. It's actually the president actually revoked the law that was going to have to eliminate all the incandescent bulbs by the end of the year. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a regulation signed into law by George Bush Jr. that it's the reason why when you go big potty, you have to flush twice now. That was
right, because it's too much for the water regulation.
Yeah, it's at 1.6
gallons per
because here,
second or whatever.
Here alongside the Mississippi River, we have to conserve, because if we don't conserve water, well, there's not going to be any for New Orleans, right?
That's right. Uh-huh.
Same. Here I am in Lake Michigan. It's like, only want to use 1.6 gallons because that lake has a finite amount of water in it. So, yeah, that and the light bulbs, the phase out of the light bulbs, and then the Obama EPA, I think it was, or the DOE, I'm not sure which, finalized the regulations, and they were all LEDs by the end of this year, and Trump just revoked those.
I want to take up 2 more minutes here because there's something. If I don't bring this up, I'm going to kick myself. I got to hear some of your set from the other night. I didn't get to come, but I heard some of your set on Tuesday.
How'd that happen?
Because I asked them to record some of it for me.
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
And now I've been selling it online. No. I've had to work the last couple nights, so I couldn't make it.
So you heard the Tuesday night show?
I did.
Oh, wasn't it awful?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. I didn't get that impression.
You realize it was a sold-out room. That's all the more laughs I was getting in a sold-out room.
So one of the things I want to bring up something that you talked about. the self-driving cars.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And you had some great jokes about that. And so on my way, just literally from parked my car to walking into the club here, I Googled self-driving cars to see if there's something else I could tie into that and talk to you about it. Did you see this, Tim Slagle? Google's self-driving car project stopped working on a system similar to Tesla's Autopilot and Cadillac Super Cruise in 2013 because one of its employees fell asleep at the wheel.
Huh. I did. I think I did see that.
Did you? Okay.
But I mean, isn't that what we want?
Right?
I mean, that's why everyone wants self-driving cars. They want to be able to walk out of the bar, stagger into the car, push the home button, and then take a nap and wake up in their driveway. That's
take a nap or watch a YouTube video.
Yeah. Well, the Cadillac system, you can't do that. The Cadillac, the Cadillac driving system, which is it's already available. I mean, it's on, and you can get it on certain vehicles. It's there already. It isn't the future. It's there.
Okay.
But what they do, the way they get around the fact that a lot of states do not allow self-driving cars, and municipalities don't allow self-driving cars. They have cameras in the steering wheel on with facial recognition. And they make sure that your eyes are on the road, and that your hands are on the steering wheel.
Okay, yeah.
And so if you glance at your phone, it'll beep a couple times and then disable the autopilot.
Yikes!
So it's So you still have to act like you're driving, or put on a mask or. Get those things like from Clockwork Orange to keep your eyes open while you sleep.
Put some glasses like to cover your forehead that have giant eyeballs painted on or something.
Or those, have you ever seen those gag glasses? I don't know if they sit with that make you look Asian.
Yeah. I'm looking. Oh, that's fantastic. I think that's good for this time, huh?
Okay,
Tim?
That was fun.
And people should subscribe to your podcast, Rule of Three, with another very funny comedian, Bent Washburn.
With Tim Slagle and Bent Washburn. Yeah, you got to do all that to actually, because when I picked the name, I didn't realize how many Rule of Three podcasts there are.
I've stumbled upon them looking for yours.
Yeah.
Before I hit subscribe. Yeah.
Yeah, I should have done that before I named it.
You know, another easy way to find it is just search Bent, BENGT.
Oh,
Bent podcast. Oh. Because there aren't other Bents doing.
There's only one Bent
comedy podcast. Yeah. There's a very good chance you found the right one. Tim, we'll see you next time. This has been great.
Looking forward.